Most of you would agree on this point. Crypto market is running hot. Look at the market cap. A month or two back, we were talking about $1 trillion, and right now we are getting closer to $1.5 trillion. Think about that. That's $500 billion entering the market. Where do you think this market is going towards? This market is running parabolic. In between, you will get these movements, corrections, manipulations, whatever you want to call. The market will show something like this. And if you take time to understand what that market is showing you, it kind of looks like this. In my thought process, I would say we may have a retest. We broke back in. What does that actually mean? When you do study the history, you kind of get an idea of where the market is taking you. And that gives you a better understanding of the market, saying there is a possibility that these whales are going to play with me. They will definitely do that. That's one of the reasons why when we trade, we try to keep our leverage as low as possible. We go through a lot of trades, but we don't do a 10, 20x trades. We limit our trades because we know that this is where we are going. Historically, the altcoins, based on what the market is showing you, is about to take off. It's about to pop through. Whether we agree or not, in few months from here, you will look back and say, I missed an opportunity. You really don't want to do that. Take your time, learn, educate yourself, and start acting without much of a delay. And if you want some support, SA Family is here posting every single update you will need in this crypto market, whether it's the opportunity side of it or the red flag which you have to avoid. We do that. So if you want to follow on that, Patreon, the link is given in the description below. If you are watching in YouTube, if you're watching on the Twitter, it's in the bio. Now, let's break things clearly so that we understand what we can anticipate in terms of XRP price action. Welcome to the Scientific Investor Family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Before we jump in, please do smash that like button for me. The market kind of looks good on the macro. But what happens is that people usually look at the market only in the micro. That's why we also do that. We give you the understanding of what the market is doing now. We want to actually see there is a breakout, at least on a short-term horizon. What are we talking about? We would like to see that the market kind of do a corrective movement like this, which actually is a bullish one. We have seen things like this in the past, so we are not surprised because the market usually does something which it has done in the recent past, and it continues that trend until that trend is invalidated. So here you are, this is your trend line. So as soon as you break this, okay, something just changed. If not, follow the trend. Trend is your friend. That saying goes on well. It actually went up, got it, it came back down to the trend line, it bounced off. Again, it slowed down, then it came back down to the moving average and bounced off. First, you kind of slowed down, you reached the moving average, but it failed to bounce off. That's where it came back down to the trend line support. So if you are looking at this, you need to understand this is a short-term scenario which we are talking about for XRP. If you are looking for the particular movements in XRP, you need to understand what the market is doing because it's also going to join the party. When you look at the market on a short term, say Bitcoin is showing you this. Okay, we may actually slow down, we may come back down to retest this range. Great. But then you actually go on a daily chart and it shows you something like this, where the daily close is already there. So when you actually reach the daily chart, it gives you something. What? The RSI broke back higher. Great. So you may have a retest. That is completely fine. Now, the moment you break back below this, okay, that becomes a fake out. But until then, what's happening in a micro chart? You go in, you want to see what the hell really is happening here. If it's a retest and a bounce, you will see the market joining that. Because right now on the other aisle, you're watching Ether has joined the party. It has actually popped through and it is still showing you the strength of bulls. which again gives a lot of strength in the market. People are coming back in, understanding the fact that it's above a macro level of support now. It was a resistance before, but right now it has turned into a resistance. So if you look at the altcoin market in general, where do you really see it popping? That's a biggest question you need to ask yourself. Because when we go through, I think that we are at that point where we start doing this. You have a trend line, you have a horizontal level of support and resistance, which the market kind of gives you, right? It's not me saying, it's like the market saying, okay, I bounced off from this level a couple of times. Great. When I broke that, that just became a resistance. Next time, again, it faked out, but that range acted as a resistance. It's now validated that point as a resistance. So you have a trend line here and a horizontal level. Both of them broke at this point when the RSI was entering the overbought territory on a weekly chart. That's important to keep in mind. Your horizon is not micro, not short term. You're looking for a long-term trend change, a long-term run up. Now, when you zoom in, you do understand that, okay, we got a run up, but how big was it? Is it like a huge pop through the roof? No, it's a 70% move in the entire market, altcoin market, excluding Ether, which means you will actually see assets like XRP doing something like this, say 70%, but you will see micro small cap coins popping like maybe 500%, 300%. That's going to be something to look out for. And that is where things like this comes into the picture. Now, remember, a lot of people were giving you the idea that Cardano is about to go into a capitulation mode, breaking to the downside. But this is what it has actually done. It formed a pattern, a retest, and a double bottom formation and went back up. How many of you did know that we were prepared for that kind of movement? From July, we were following this asset. We were updating on it almost with all the asked for TA sessions. This is what I showed you. And right now, when you go in the market, look at this. It actually played out almost as we looked for. Now, right now, when you zoom out on the macro, this is how it actually looks like. I'm like, that's a huge opportunity. So if you watch someone saying it's a capitulation coming in, dropping to the lower point, you missed an opportunity. Why? Because you are not in the SI family. Now, you don't want to take that as a challenge. You want to take that as a learning point. Why did that happen? How did that happen? How did we find that? Because this will help you to look at any different asset in the market to understand which direction they are going. Once you understand where they came from and where they are right now, this gives you an easy idea to extrapolate that in the future. So we actually go back. We want to actually stay with XRP on this matter because my biggest bag is XRP. And I think this asset has the highest utility and fundamentals among all of them. Great. So we zoom out. We want to also understand what the macro picture actually looks like. We actually got a pop here. We had a breakout of this range. It was a previous support turned into a resistance. So you kind of made a picture here. You popped through. Now, what is happening? If you actually put it in a line chart, this is how it looks like. So now, keep in mind, if you want to stay educated, you want to follow a chart with less noise and understand what the market is doing. You consolidate. You broke below. Great. You consolidated there. You broke to the upside, retested and bounced off. Now, the exact same thing is happening on a higher level. This was your support, which turned into a resistance, and we broke that to the upside. A retest and bounce is not something bad because we already reached the next level of support turned resistance. So you're coming back here and bouncing back to test the next level. I think that's the biggest stuff you need to understand. Why? When you zoom out, now you see this as a big pattern. If that's breaking from this range around 0.82, what the hell is your measured move to say, okay, XRP is going to run higher? That's a 74% move. Now, go back and look at what we talked about in the altcoin market. A 72% run up. Wow. Yeah, there will be a lot of micro caps, small caps popping 300, 500%. For sure, I agree. But for XRP, the asset moving up like this is great. At that point, FOMO is already in. You can't argue when the price of XRP goes above $1, FOMO is not coming back. It is coming back. In my opinion, I would say by the time you break $1 and go nuts above 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, people would rush back into this asset. There are many reasons for that. My justification for my thought process is like, okay, you have a trend line like this. As soon as you break that at that point, now what the hell is your measured move there? You plot it and you ask yourself, okay, the market consolidated in this range for a long period of time. So as soon as you break that, I would say, okay, there is a possible movement all the way up to 1.7, 1.8. That means, so around 1.4, you have a resistance. That's why this measured move comes into picture. So that's ranging from 1.3 all the way up to 1.4. That's where one of your measured move of profit comes in. Next one, where is it taking you? It's taking you somewhere close to the previous all-time highs of 1.8. Market is healthy. It's institutions. Understand this. When you don't have a proper structure, it's the retailers ramping in, ramping out. But when you have a clear, healthy structure where the market goes up, people take profit, or algorithms, bots run by the whales, the financial institutions, they do this stuff. You want to follow them. Never go against them. They'll wipe the floor. You don't want to do that. Think about this. When you go into a trade, micro trade, hourly, 4 hour, whatever you are doing, understand on the other end of this trade, you're competing with whom? There are institutions like Renaissance. These are like world-class mathematicians doing algorithm, trading the market in and out. So if you think you are smarter than them, good luck. I don't think I'm smarter than them. So I play on a wider horizon, short to medium term, short-term trades, not micro trades on a daily basis. I don't do that. Sometimes, yeah, I put a trade in and it pops through on the same day. I take benefit of that. I take the profit move out. But sometimes it takes a week, a month, or 3. I'm fine. So you need to understand who you are playing against. If that whales are going to play against you, you want to understand which direction they are going and just follow them. That gives you the best ability. And if you want to understand that scenario here in XRP, I would say there is a genuine reason where you can actually reason this saying like, okay, if we are to follow the history, we need to retest this trend line here and then bounce off. So if you think you want to buy more XRP and can I get a better price, maybe there is odds that the price may come down to 0.55. If that happens, it's a golden opportunity. In my humble opinion, you should take benefit of that. Now, what if that's not happening? What if this gets invalidated? We will follow through all of them for each and every assets which are moving up. So all of these assets are grinding higher. Some of them are breaking out, reaching our targets, doing all of those things. I update everything here. So if you actually want to go with your portfolio with me on a one-on-one session, great, we'll go through that. If you want to do that, taking advantage of that, because the market is running hard and we are watching like people coming in here. We're now closing into 650 members. At one point, I'm just one individual. This will overrun. We'll have to stop new guys coming in. We'll have to manage the time properly so that, those who are in, they don't miss anything. They get everything to take benefit at the top, take profits. Not at the precise top. No one is going to get that. Somewhere close to the top. We want to make sure the assets which you are in for wave 2, they're going to explode and you should be able to take that profit out and move it out of the crypto market. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. And if you want these kind of guidance going through learning with me, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below in YouTube or in the bio in Twitter. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.